Hi everyone, my name is Hannes. Thank you for being here, I really appreciate it. I have the honor and pleasure to work on one of the fastest growing apps in the Atlassian marketplace called JXL. I think it may have been mentioned in one or two talks before. Unfortunately, I don't speak Hungarian, but I trust what was said there was good. So JXL, before starting JXL, I actually worked for Atlassian for a number of years in the beautiful Sydney headquarters. And before that, I worked on another marketplace app. Back then it was called Jira Portfolio. And as some of you may know, this was acquired by Atlassian and has now evolved into advanced roadmaps. So yeah, going full circle, been around for a little while now. And working at Atlassian, working with many different companies over the years, I think there was really one thing that was the most consistent, which is that every team is different. Every team have their own requirements, their own ways of working, their own work culture, really. And Jira is a fantastic tool to bring all these different teams of your organization together. But in practice, you will very likely have seen that it's much easier for some teams than it is for other teams. Right? For technical teams, very easy. For less technical teams, much harder. Why is this? Well, if you think about Jira, there is a lot of very specific terminology. There's a lot of kind of deep configuration options. And we don't even need to think about issue types, screen schemes, or something like this. We can just think about boards. A board, very natural to a software engineer, way less natural to, say, a legal department or a marketing department. So what can we do to make Jira truly the one tool for all our teams? My co-founder and I spent a fair bit of thinking about that, and interestingly enough, always got back to a concept that is almost as old as personal computing, which is spreadsheets. Of course, spreadsheets don't quite look like this anymore. We all turned into powerful computing engines, highly optimized. We all know Excel, we all know Google Sheets. Some of you may know the kind of next generation spreadsheets like Airtable. And we now see these interactive table views to be almost table stakes in a lot of productivity tools, from Trello to Monday, etc. So why would Jira users have to miss out on a good spreadsheet implementation? Well, they don't have to, and this is where JXL comes in. So our goal really is to combine the power of Jira with the simplicity, with the familiarity of spreadsheets. They kind of take the best of both worlds, bring it together. These days, we really see JXL as the all-in-one issue editor and organizer for your organization. And here's why. These are use cases that we see JXL being used in with our customers. You don't need to remember all of them. You don't even need to read all of them. Just trust me, just like spreadsheets are almost kind of the Swiss Army knife of personal computing that you can do almost anything with. So also JXL is very flexible. Today we're going to focus on 3 use cases. I would love to talk about all of them, but in the interest of time, we're going to focus on program management, on feature prioritization, and on time tracking. And we're going to do that directly in JXL. So let's switch over to this. Wonderful. So what you are seeing in front of you is a JXL sheet. You can have as many sheets as you want in your Jira site. And every sheet has essentially 3 things. Every sheet has a name. Every sheet has a so-called sheet scope, which defines which issues are supposed to be part of the sheet. That can either be a JQL query or it can be a filter. And most importantly, it has a column configuration. So depending on what problem you're trying to solve, you can build your perfect table view by adding the columns that you're interested in. And every column in JXL is essentially a piece of issue data. It can be a standard field like assignee or status or priority. Can be any custom field that you may have in your site. And we also have a long list, dozens, maybe 100 by now, of so-called smart columns and history columns. So these are things that we can calculate for you based on information that exists on your issues. Time in status, for example, is a really popular one, like how much time did my issue spend in status XYZ. So in this sheet we have, you see a number of standard columns, you see a number of custom fields here, Jira software fields, some time tracking stuff, you name it. And once I'm done setting up my sheet, this is where the fun part begins, because I can now start working on my issues very much like I would do in Excel or Google Sheets. So I hit enter, I make a change, I confirm my change, and I just updated an issue. I can do that with the priority, I can do that with the status. You see, it's really easy, really familiar. I can also do that in bulk. So let's say I want to update the priority of a number of issues, then I can just copy the value here, select the number of issues I want to update, hit paste, and we just updated 5 issues. Can't get any easier, can't get any quicker. You also get all the things that you would expect, right? Like sorting, filtering. So if we just want to see highest priority issues that are currently in progress, that's just 2 clicks. And this in itself is already very useful to a lot of customers. There are already a lot of use cases that you can cover with this. To us, it's really more of a platform on top of which we want to add more advanced features. And this could be, for example, sum ups. So this is really just one click up here, and you see we get this additional row at the top that gives us a sum up of the values below. Or I can group my issues. So I can group my issues by any issue field, doesn't even have to be part of the sheet. So let's say we group it by assignee. You see now we have more of these special rows and group our issues by assignee, or we group them by status. So you get the idea. Or hierarchy. You may be familiar with the epic story subtask default hierarchy that exists in Jira. And if you want to view that, this is also just one click enabling this option up here. And you see now that our issues are organized by their epic. So we have our epics, we can expand our epics and drill down into the stories and go down to the subtasks. All these things can be combined, which actually leads me to the first use case, which is program management. So one of our customers, graphical design company, always struggled with doing their company level long-term planning in the same place as they managed kind of their shorter term execution, which would be Jira. So what that company ended up with is something very similar to this, which is a fairly complex system of issues. If we look at it top down, we start with objectives. Below our objectives, we have programs. Then we have initiatives. Within the initiative, we do a grouping by project. And then at the bottom, we have our epic story subtask hierarchy. And the way that you would, you get the sum ups and all the other things kind of across this structure. The way you model that is through a so-called structure. If we look into the one that is currently active, you see we have here a number of levels, and the level can either be a hierarchy level, a grouping, or a sum up. And this way you can model these kind of high-level planning perspectives. Another use case that we see, for example, at the electrical vehicle manufacturer is prioritization. So these folks want to, they use a technique called RISE scoring for their prioritization. So the way it works is you define 4 parameters: reach, impact, confident, and effort, and then calculate a score out of these. What you can see here in action is another feature, conditional formatting. So you can basically define conditions on your fields, and if these conditions are fulfilled, color either the individual cell or the entire row. Last but not least, time tracking. So this is a brand new feature, has really only been shipped fully yesterday. So what you can do with the so-called time in status column is you can configure the status that you're interested in. So in this case, it would be in progress. And then configure your work time calendar, like, what are your working hours, if that's something that you want to have considered. And then get this really nice overview of how much time an issue is spent in progress, or how much time an issue spent in a done status. There are many of these history columns. These are probably the most natural and easy to comprehend ones. Yeah. Being conscious of time, switching back to the slides. So just to really quickly sum this up, how does JXL work? You have the concept of sheets. You have multiple sheets per project. Every sheet has 3 things: a title, a JQL statement, and a column configuration. You define that by adding, moving, arranging columns around. Once you've done that, you can view, edit, and create Jira issues in your JXL sheet. You can highlight, sort, and filter. We've seen all of that. Copy-paste, my favorite feature. And then a number of advanced features like hierarchies, summing ups, grouping. What do our customers love about JXL? Well, first and foremost, it really helps them to save time, and that's, I think, the most important thing, right? JXL also, something that we are passionate about is very much ready for the enterprise, so both in terms of performance and in terms of scalability. And last but not least, I don't want to go too much into technical details, but the way that JXL is architected means that your data never leaves your site. It's really just your browser talking to your Jira backend and nothing in between. And yeah, it is an incredibly flexible tool, as we have seen. So yeah, just a quote, one of the things that gets you up every morning and work on the product, quite inspirational. And yeah, available on the marketplace for all modes of Jira. So yeah, give it a try. Thank you very much, and yeah, take care.